Hi guys, welcome to Silver Devils. Today, in the continuation of the season review, we have a couple of United fans with us. Gautam and Hari are here with us. Gautam, hi.
Hi.
Hari, hi. Thank you so much for coming along and agreeing to do this with us. How has lockdown been treating you? Considering that both of you guys are in Chennai. Gautam, I know you just got back to
Yeah.
Coimbatore. So how has lockdown been for you guys? I hope all of you guys and your family have been safe through this time.
Yeah, I came to Coimbatore around 3 weeks or around a month ago. So just when the season started again, just when Project Restart happened again. So I think that's
Right.
the only thing which kind of has kept us going through the last month and a half and all. And both Hari and
Right.
I are also very avid FPL players,
Oh, all right.
fantasy players, and
Right.
so my day has been work till 5 or 6, research fantasy from 6 to 9 or 10, and then from 10 the game starts. It goes on till 2 o'clock. Sleep. That's been my day for the last month. It's been fantastic. There's honestly been no
Lovely.
complaint, and
Lovely.
yeah, football coming at the right time has been great. Yeah.
True. 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 Hari, what
Yeah,
about you?
I unfortunately or fortunately I chose to stay. I didn't go home. I chose to stay in Chennai itself. So it was
Right.
quite difficult the month of May, early part of the lockdown. But as soon as the Premier League started, pretty much every day there was matches. I think after
Right.
that I even stopped watching movies or series. It was only matches, day in
Right.
and day out.
Right.
So it
Right. I
was,
think
I
football
think,
definitely has
yeah, yeah,
helped
it really
all of
helped.
us cope.
Like so
Yeah.
far, it was. I think it meant a lot actually during this time.
So that's true. Football
Right.
has been a coping mechanism for so many of us, right? I mean, I'm telling you, all of us have been going through our own struggles mentally and emotionally and all that, right? And this has been such a brilliant distraction, and our team has played well. இல்லைன்னா அந்த பிரச்சனை வேற இருக்கும், but our team has played
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Been a
Yeah.
constant source of motivation and cheering up, throughout the last month. So
Yeah,
I mean,
till the last game week there was hope that something can
Right,
happen.
right.
So that
There's
was
always
this was a big
drama.
thing.
There's always drama, right?
And
There's always drama with
unlike last season or the previous previously it was more or less set, but this time it
I
was
mean,
like
the last, yeah,
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 even
yeah.
just it's not just the top four battle, even the relegation it was it happened till the
Correct.
last
I
moment.
went until last day. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, last
so
moment rather,
yeah,
until Jack Grealish scored that
yeah,
goal, and yeah, brilliant stuff. Okay, let's get into the show.
yeah.
The first thing that we'll be tackling is what your thoughts on Ole has been with his first full season at United. What are your thoughts? What do you think he's done well in? What do you think he needs to improve? There's always room for improvement. So, what do you think he needs to improve? What have you absolutely loved about him? I'm sure you guys have lots to say. You guys
So
choose whoever you want to start.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
go ahead.
think for me, two huge decisions which Ole took. I mean, I know there's been a lot of talk about him getting the fringe players out and clearing out the deadwood and all that. But I think Ole's biggest decision was Martial this season, because Lukaku left, and everybody, including I think even players the club, expected us to bring in a new striker. But there's this quote, right? Ole gives an interview saying, he went to Martial and asked him, "Do you want to be a number 9?" And he said, "Yes." That's it. And that was a huge call, because Martial had not played striker for almost 4 years since he was bought in. When he was bought in as
Yeah,
striker, but then
correct.
Rashford was there, Ibra came, Lukaku came, and Martial will be playing on the wing as like an auxiliary striker. He's never been up front, for a period of games. So that was a huge call to trust him, and he hadn't had a great record. I think Martial was going to leave. I actually thought that Martial was going to leave last summer if he hadn't gotten this position, right? So
Right.
that is a huge call which could have gone either way. But I've always truly believed Martial is the best finisher at a club in the last 4 to 5 years, even better than people like Rashford and Lukaku and Ibra and
Now he
also.
has competition with Greenwood.
Greenwood, but
Yes, tough
still,
competition.
you can't really trust Greenwood against I mean, tomorrow we go to the CL, it will be Martial against a UA or a Madrid or whatever, and I still don't think
Yeah,
they're going to buy a striker. I think Ole is pretty happy with the front two at least. We will
yeah,
obviously opt for a winger or something, but yeah, that is a huge call. And the
yeah.
second thing, handing Maguire the captaincy, which was a big decision. I think that's paid off. I know everybody slags off Maguire for a variety of reasons. I'm a huge Maguire believer. We saw the stats. He's only outfield player to play the entire season in like 30, 40 years for us. And you can see how much he means to the team around him, how he's lifted up the team. I think people like Shaw and Pisaka and Lindelof has really profited from having Maguire around them. And I think playing Maguire in every game, giving him that confidence that he'll start every game even if he makes mistakes. I think all those calls were huge. Obviously, the Bruno transfer changed everything, but I think these two were Ole's biggest kind of wins. Yeah.
And considering, looks like Harry Maguire has been like a really important key figure for Ole, considering that he had an injury and he used to take painkiller shots. That's the report that came out. He used to take painkiller shots for about good five weeks or so, just so that he could play every single game. Which speaks the amount of trust that Ole has in Harry, and Harry trusts in Ole. Likewise, So that's something good. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that the Lukaku thing was a big call because one is he might have wanted out, or it wasn't earlier with Lukaku. The front three for front two, the attack was not fluid, so it was kind of now it is very fluid. How we just shift balls in a few seconds and it's in the net. So it wasn't that fluid. It was more like a target man, and occasionally there's occasional counter attacks. Now every attack we do is counter attack unless and until the team sits back. So I think that changed the game. Completely having a fluid front three, or earlier, now it's Greenwood. Earlier it was James. Shifting balls soon, and that's how United used to play. No matter of time, they'll be in the other side of the goal. I think that was one other big call. And other thing is, Matic was growing old, but we never had a proper CDM, a person who can shield the back four, and putting faith in Matic. Now, even though he's old, is kind of past his prime, he may not be the same level as he was in Chelsea. Okay, so he was absolute. Now, probably the best player at his prime, but still he's better than most of the central defense. I mean, the DMs in the. Okay, so I think he gave that badly needed protection. Even in the last match, when you would have seen that Maguire has his own, he's inexperienced. He's still not he's not played big matches yet. He might have capped for England, but still not big matches for the club. So he made a mistake. Matic was there to shield him. He made that small clearance.
Yeah.
So those are the places where he clicks in, his experience and everything comes in place. So that was a big thing. I thought he's out. Matic is out, is done and dusted. So neither McTominay nor Fred were proper CDM materials.
Right. I think there's a lot that McTominay can learn from Matic, and probably become the mainstay central defensive midfielder in the years to come. Provided
McTominay, I feel that he has a lot of magic. McTominay still not. It does not have the discipline like Matic. He tends to go forward. So those are the things he has to develop. So it kind of gives time for McTominay also. So for him to develop and put in his shoes. So that was a big thing. Bringing Matic gave that. I think second part of the season when Matic was playing week in and week out. That gave a lot of stability.
I think what happened was it gave a lot of freedom to Pogba and Bruno.
Yes, exactly.
To express themselves, right? They have that assurance that Matic is there behind them to cut across and just like cut any of those balls that are coming in, and hold that defensive shape. And have more of that liberty to go forward and try to put those attacking passes forward, despite knowing that even if there's some miss pass, there's somebody to cut off counter attack in case it happens. Yeah, definitely, that's very true.
While talking about Ole's decisions, the fact that Pogba came back, I think most of us expected him to not play at all for us, right, the entire season. But all the interviews, whenever anyone asked about Pogba to Ole, he'd just say He's our player. He will play when he's ready. Like, and you could see he was holding his frustration. I mean, I cannot even imagine someone like Mourinho saying that. Mourinho would be like, "Oh, he can fuck off." That's what Mourinho would have probably said.
Right,
You know?
exactly.
But Pogba came back, and I know he's not been spectacular over the last 10 games. But he's done all the basics right. He's just he's kept it ticking, and he's helped Bruno, and he's unlocked Bruno, like all of us keep saying. And I still feel there's a lot from Pogba. I don't think
Another thing which Ole got right is what I feel is the coaching staff. He has a very passionate ex-United, who have been in the club for several years. There's a lot of passion there.
True.
It's they want to give Carrick of Phelan or so they want to deliver a lot.
Even Nicky Butt or
yes.
Your Mike Phelan or
yes.
any of them.
Anybody. So there's hardly like you see other clubs. The coaching staffs are very aggressive and they come out as very doing a lot of things. Our coaching staff is just sitting, watching the scene and making those subtle calls. So that was very, very nice. We weren't into getting onto fights or there's no mind games and all. Just going to the job, getting the job, going to the match and getting the job done.
Right. True.
So that was slightly different when compared to there was Mourinho. There's animated stuff going on.
I mean, it's very similar to David Moyes, but in complete polar opposite ways,
Yeah.
David Moyes never did squat for us. Anyway, moving on. Who do you think were the impact players? Like who do you think really impressed you? I mean, we know the obvious. Bruno has been the guy. But apart from Bruno, anybody else that you guys really think made this season like so much more rewarding for us because of them it became so much better for us?
So I think Maguire was massive at the back. I think he is our most important player along with probably Martial and Bruno. Like if I had to pick three of the most important players, they would be the three because I know lots been spoken about Bissaka and how good he is at tackling, and Shaw's come back, and Shaw's been immense, right? Until his injury, he was absolutely brilliant.
I don't like the sound of that. It sounded exactly like us 2 years back. Shaw was really good until his injury, and then he. Man, I hope it's not another whirlwind of that.
No, I absolutely maintain that we need a defensive left back cover. We need someone to give him, because as good as Brandon is, he's not going to. He can't play against in the CL against the big teams and all. And if Shaw gets injured, we're completely we saw what happened the last two games without Shaw. And Shaw's always going to. I don't know. Unless he doesn't ings and becomes magically fit through the season. I don't see Shaw, starting 38 games, So we need defensive. But apart from that, I think Maguire has been the playing through injury, playing through all this criticism. I think the only thing Maguire could have improved is his heading ability this season because we bought him in for
scoring
the goals. He only scored one goal all season, which is I think lowest since he joined.
Used to look very dangerous.
I mean, I understand. No, here's the thing, right?
4 or 5 chances. Sorry?
Here's the thing. I understand the fact that at least until Bruno came in, we didn't have somebody who can create chances, somebody who can whip in across with effect. But after Bruno came, the crosses came in quite effectively, and he never seemed to get them on target. He never seemed like he commanded. He beat the man in the air, but he never got them.
Exactly, he beat the man. He get to the ball, but he always misplace it.
Off target.
Will improve next season, but I think. I think Maguire. Obviously, Greenwood, coming into his own during the last 6 games was huge. He scored the vital goal against West Ham, right? He was the one who scored against West Ham, equalizer.
Yeah.
And I didn't expect that. I honestly thought Greenwood needed at least 2 more years to kind of, start games and all. I was really surprised and excited about that.
Hari, what about you?
I feel Martial kind of became a complete player this season. Earlier he was more one-dimensional. He used to come from the left and cut in, try to play, do the step overs and after a while it kind of became very predictable. And this season has been completely different. He is able to play from the middle or from the left. He's very good with the 1-2s with either Greenwood or Rashford. Okay, and he has
True.
now if he had taken penalties, he would easily he would have scored as many as Jamie Vardy. The amount of penalties
Sure.
we got, I think
We-
17 goals without taking any penalties,
Any
everything from open
penalties? Yeah.
play. I think
Yeah, yeah.
that's kind
I
of
think I think that's a record. I think that's a record
The record.
for United for
for
a United
United.
player
Yeah,
after
I
a
think
very long time. Yeah.
now he looks. I think now he looks definitely a top player in Premier League.
You know what I think is a problem. Martial is easily my favorite player in United right now. You know what I think is the problem with Martial? He needs a manager to give him confidence. He
Yeah,
Right.
needs a manager to show that he has confidence in him for him to be able to just like go at it and just like play. I think if a manager shows a little amount, just a tiny ounce of confidence in him, he goes and he owns the world. He owns that pitch. He makes it his own. But it's just that he under Mourinho he lacked that confidence, and the number of times that Mourinho tried to sell him is just
that's right.
outrageous. It just
Martial is
baffles
definitely
me.
raw skills. Like all these French players have that. He has that
Right,
little bit of trickery. He can do those
right.
things. Now when everything is locked, he can he can open the thing. So I
True.
think even with Leicester or with West Ham, he's the one because of him it clicked.
Because of
So
him,
I
it
think he,
worked.
he
Yeah,
looks more dangerous. He may not look very dangerous. He does not express a lot, but
yeah,
I think in
yeah, yeah.
when with
Also
ball,
think
it's
Martial
amazing.
is due to a lot of how Rashford and him have linked up as well. That partnership
Yeah.
is immense. As good as Bruno,
Beautiful, just
I
beautiful
think
to watch.
Martial is the main.
Yeah,
That partnership is brilliant. They're friends. They have something going on. I mean, they have that healthy rivalry going on, which is
Bromance, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And there's
yeah. And
that bromance
one of them is out. The other
with
player,
Bruno as
his
well,
yeah,
yeah.
form comes down. Sorry,
And there's that beautiful bromance with Bruno
romance.
Fernandes as well, yeah.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
exactly.
Bruno Fernandes, that oh,
No, and,
yeah.
and see, the thing is, none of us mentioned Rashford because he didn't have the most productive of campaigns on the pitch. But what
True.
he did off the pitch,
He
right?
tailed
And,
off a little towards the end.
yeah, because he came back from injury. He came back from a huge injury
Yeah,
even before.
yeah, yeah,
You know
yeah.
what he did off the pitch, I think gave us so much goodwill at the club. I mean, Rashford
Right,
is really like England's pet kid or something at this point, right?
right
Everybody,
now, yeah.
I think that added a huge, kind of image boost to everybody at the club. So Rashford's
That
important.
positive mentality as well, positive mindset, I guess, suppose. It did quite a bit of good to us, football or otherwise. So moving on to the next thing is three players you want to come in this for the next season. Three players you want out.
Hmm. Only three, okay.
Three. I mean, just
I know, I know.
we know there's a lot of people we want out, but like
So I think
I'm sure, and realistically, we'll probably get three. We might get out more than three, but realistically, I don't see us getting more than three.
I think three is the best we can expect, especially in this situation and the
With that
circumstances.
Woodward, yeah,
Three is the reason.
yeah.
So I think our top priority has to be the right winger. Obviously, we've been linked. Everybody knows this, and their moms know this. Sancho is
Right.
what everybody talking about. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it'll happen, right? Just because it's been so talked about. We've seen this with Dybala. We've seen this with Bruno last season before he came in. I don't know. I if it happens, of course, we'll be ecstatic. But I actually think it might. I don't know. Maybe we can't afford it. I think Dortmund will hold out for a lot more as well. But if not Sancho, I really like someone like Richarlison to come in, right? Someone who's played in the PL, a winger who's played in the PL because it takes time to adapt to the PL. We've always seen this with foreign players. Bruno is probably one of the exceptions. So someone who's already played in the wing for a decent mid-level club like Richarlison would be brilliant. Who can score, who can play on either wing, who can play as striker. It gives us so many options. And then of course, we need someone who can come in when Bruno is tired, when Bruno, can't start every game, and that is Grealish, right? Grealish is also obviously someone who's linked with us brilliant, and Grealish has showed us how important he is this season to his club. So he
He single-handedly made them survive
yeah,
in the
and it
Premier League.
is the
Yeah.
term to describe it, right? Yeah, and it's great. He can also play on the left wing. Right now we don't. I mean, it's either James. It's if Rashford and Greenwood don't play, only James is there to play the other way. Because Mata, I think Mata will be sold this. I have a feeling
Yeah.
Mata and Lingard will go this season.
There's links with Fenerbahce. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it's happening because Lingard is, what Lingard is, and Mata can't run anymore. He doesn't have the legs to do, play the field anymore. So we literally have only two wingers. So we need, someone who can. Grealish can play very well on the wing. He can cut in. He can do that whole. Can even play as an auxiliary striker sometimes. So I think Grealish and Sancho / Richarlison will be huge priority transfers. Defense, I think, comes secondary because the defense needs transformation, but we're okay. I think a left back like I think a left back like Chilwell or Tagliafico from Ajax. If Chelsea don't get one of them, I think that's what we'll be aiming for.
Right. What about 3 people out?
I think so. Mata, I think Lingard, and I think one of the defenders. So I heard Smalling is coming back and he's going to be staying. Apparently, we don't want to sell him.
No.
But looks like even Juventus and Milan are interested in Smalling now. So I don't know.
We don't need Smalling.
Yeah, but
we don't need Smalling.
We don't
need Smalling.
He's had a huge season.
What is wrong? We have Terran Mengi in the wings. We have Axel Tuanzebe. We have Eric Bailly. We have what for second? Phil Jones. Sell him off. Give him.
So I think 2 of these 3. That is 2 of Phil Jones, Smalling, and Rojo. 2 of these 3 will go for sure.
Rojo's gone. Rojo's gone.
I don't think Ole will sell.
There's no way. Yeah.
I don't think Ole will sell both Smalling and Jones. I think one of them will stay. So it remains to be seen who's going to stay among them. We'll see. I mean, Jones is injury prone as always. Smalling has had a good season. He could be a good backup.
I don't think Jones can ever get into our team. I'm sure Ole rates Terran Mengi over Jones at this point in time.
Jones can't really get into the team. I mean, I'm actually a huge Jones fan, but I mean, I remember when he bought in, Jones from Blackburn and Smalling from Fulham, and we thought they were going to be the new Rio and Vida and all of it. Because they were the most exciting youngsters in England, at that point. But of course, we've seen.
Yeah.
So
Hari, what about you?
I would already consider Smalling and Sanchez out. So
yeah, of course.
So there are 2 players. I think they are doing a good job in Syria. So I think in current squad, I would Mata looks completely. It does not look like a.
Outcast.
Yeah, it does not even look like a squad player now. So I would Mata, Lingard has not been delivering at all. There is very little.
For the final goal of the season.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So other thing is could probably be a little unpopular. The De Gea. I think he has made too many errors. Yeah. He has been. Okay. So I think he has been the best player. If not for him, we would not have finished top 4 or Europa or anything. Any of these trophies would not have been possible in the post. Ferguson. But I think the number, even in the last match, Vardy could have nicked on and there was one error.
Yeah.
So I think it has become routine. That's after Kepa, the save percentage was low for. Yeah, that's a very considering
very
what
bad.
A bad season.
Considering he's made his career being a shot stopper.
That is his strength.
Very poor. Yeah, that's his strength, and he's been absolutely poor. I completely agree.
So considering that we have Dean in the pipeline, who's had a great season.
You know what? I think it's too early for us to get on the Dean wagon because don't get me wrong, he's a good talent, but it's too early.
It's too early.
Season.
Yeah.
I can't see him playing against Juventus and Bayern in the CL and all. Absolutely not.
I can't. But the thing is, see, you can always bring Dean Henderson. I would have been okay if Dean Henderson had come in this season and played through the season and had his ups and downs and settled in the team, because this was a transition season for Oli. Now, next season we're gonna try and break into the top 2. We're gonna try and win a couple of cups. We're gonna try and get really deep in the Champions League. Now, that is definitely not when we need Dean Henderson coming in and having that ton of pressure of playing for Manchester United and having all of that to deal with and possibly tumbling under pressure.
Yeah, see, the other option is going all out for a very good goalkeeper. I think the biggest decision for Ole next season would be either he's going to stick with De Gea or he's going to look for no other
See, the
option.
thing is, De Gea's on,
I don't see that going.
super high wages. I don't see De Gea leave.
I
I
don't.
Leave.
don't
I mean,
see De
He may
Gea
be a
leave.
backup but he has become a liability. Daya has become a big liability for United now. We are losing points because of him. So that it's
Yeah.
a it does not look
Yes.
good. You can't stay, you can't win a league or you can't win anything with that kind of goalkeeping.
Hopefully he goes and fixes himself, or he probably has a say in who he wants as a goalkeeping coach, and probably that helps him, just like revive his United career. I mean, moving on to the last section of the show. What do you think should be the realistic targets for United next season in terms of where you want them to finish in the league and in the the cups, your Champions League, your FA Cup, your Carabao Cup?
Yeah, so I don't see us closing the gap between City and Liverpool too much next season. I think the best we can hope for is third, because Liverpool look great, man. I mean, they don't even need any big signings. They just need a couple of, maybe replacements for people like Lallana and whoever else is going out or whatever. Maybe Lovren might leave. So they'll probably get another settled defender. So, and City, of course, have Sane money. They're going to buy a couple of players to replace Sane and Silva. So they're going to be stronger than ever. So I think realistically, third is what we can hope for next season. Hopefully win either the FA Cup or the Carling Cup,
Carabao
and
Cup. Yeah.
go deep into the Carabao Cup now, and go deep into the CL. I think if you get to the CL quarters,
What
then,
do you mean? Quarters. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, I think if you go to the quarters, then we have a good chance at, I mean, it's anybody's game from then on, right? Like we could, I mean, we saw what happened with PSG last season, so anything could
Well,
happen.
PSG are bottlers, and then we got thrashed at Barca.
At Barcelona.
No, PSG are like Top Gun bottlers. They no.
No, but now they're,
PSG, I don't
this
think they're
season, after they bought Herrera and Gaye, they're actually very, very, they're solid in the midfield. Now they're improved massively. I think PSG are favorites. I predicted PSG to win the CL, and I still stand with it. I think PSG will
But
win
now that Mbappe is out, the chances are little.
little bit, but they still have.
I think he's out only for the second leg of the game. He's only out for the second leg. He's not out for the rest of the season, from what I read.
Not been scoring goals. Your problem is defending and keeping that lead, right? They're always going to score goals for fun. So I think PSG and City are the front runners. I think it could be a PSG City final, and I think PSG will win. But okay, that aside, I think a quarters, maybe giving it a good shot, not losing miserably, maybe like going out on like a like away goals, or like on a 1-0, 2-0 would be a respectable aim at this point, and building the future, integrating signings like maybe a Sancho or Grealish. Then we can realistically compete the season after that. I think that's what.
True. Yeah, Hari, what about you?
Yeah, I think a third is an absolute minimum I would want United to finish, and put a good fight with second or first place. Shouldn't be now. It's like
30-40. Yeah,
it's like it in table it looks third position, but if you seriously look at the points, it's like we are like 3-4 points behind Liverpool.
Yeah.
So put a good fight, finish minimum third, and because Chelsea is also coming, they made good signings. All their Pulisic has clicked
very
well.
Very true.
So I think put a good fight, finish at least third,
Sounds good.
and then win a cup, one domestic cup, either FA or. I think that it's a young group. Winning a cup will give them a lot of confidence.
That's true.
I think that will be.
Sound very realistic, and it's so nice to hear people say like what, let's not get ahead of. It's so good that we are not getting ahead of ourselves and say, oh, you know what, we're going to win the league next
We're going to treble next
year. See, I understand we've been absolutely phenomenal ever since Bruno came in, but if we don't have reinforcements in the transfer market, we're not going to be able to compete through the season, considering that we have 2 cups and the Champions League as well to play for. It's not going to be a viable option. We need the key is for us to have as much we are able to strengthen our squad, the better our chances are going to be. With quality, a squad with quality,
with quality,
the better our chances.
Like how Liverpool Liverpool can bring in Ox, who's as good as anybody else in the team. They can come in as a substitute and he can just change the game. So
Very true.
that kind of and City has so many players. It's like they can just
Very
throw
true.
in players
Very
after.
true. Very true.
So United need that kind of depth. Who can okay, if it's not working well, someone should come in and should be able to that ability to change the game. That should be there. I think only then we'll be able to really get it working.
Right.
And before I think it'll be great if we win the Europa. I think that'll really give the players a lot.
We have to.
We have very realistic chance. Realistic chance of winning it. I think.
Probably the only other team that could really give us a fight is Inter.
They drop down to Europa, right? I think Chelsea will drop down to Europa if they, lose a second leg. I think. I'm not sure, but I think we have.
They will.
We have decent competition in Europa as well. So I think winning that will give a boost. Yeah, we might be leggy, but it'll be a good boost.
But from knockout they don't come.
They don't come. Oh.
Yeah. I mean, so this. I think we have a good chance. It's only we have Inter. Inter is a solid team, and then there is Wolves.
Wolves,
and a couple of Spanish teams. So it would be nice if it's a PL final.
It should be.
But I think it most likely there could be a PL semi-final, Wolves versus United. That's what it looks like.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you guys. We'll definitely have you guys on again sometimes when the season starts again. Probably. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care, guys. Take care.
It's on.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye. Yeah. See you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Tell me how good does it feel?